Hey, and good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in for Panhandle Weather Live at 6. Pretty wild weather day. We had a hurricane making landfall in Jamaica. We had National Weather Service confirming an EF0 and an EF1 tornado in Mexico Beach. Not just one, but two tornadoes. And now starting to see red tide showing up, at least in some low concentrations in St. Andrews Bay. Not to mention, we got some rain in the forecast tomorrow, and the coldest air of the season is on the way. First things first, let's go ahead and talk about the tornadoes. National Weather Service went out today and did their storm survey over into Mexico Beach, and what they ended up finding were two tornadoes. One on the west side of town and the other over at the El Governor, where we saw all the damage. Here's what we saw. This is the first report of damage. If you look real carefully right there, that's that Sunstop gas station as you're coming, brand new one, that as you're coming into Mexico Beach from Tyndall Air Force Base. You can see there was an EF0 tornado that was briefly on the ground and crossed right over Highway 98. This is not too far away from the Welcome to Mexico Beach sign there. So an EF0 causing minor damage there and lifting up right near those townhomes that they're building right there on the north side of 98 moving into town. Meanwhile, the EF1 tornado, you can see coming, it was a waterspout, tornadic waterspout moving on shore. Coming in near the El Governor at the public beach access right there. And then the El Governor, right there is the RV park where we saw so much damage. It continued on producing EF1 damage through this neighborhood just north of 98, but lifting up before it got over to 386. So again, that one was on the ground for a very brief period of time. EF1 damage there. All the damage that you're looking at down here, kind of highlighted by this polygon, was wind damage, not associated necessarily with the tornado, but the EF1 wind damage was about 100 miles per hour with that storm. Okay, right now it's been quiet. It's been cool today. Never saw the sunshine. We were hoping we might get a break or two out there. You see the boats coming in. A chilly sunset sail or lack of sunset sail. Temperature 61 degrees right now. Winds still blowing out of the north under cloudy skies. You can see no one's out in the water right now. Cloudy skies, chilly conditions on Panama City Beach, but a nice evening for a nice stroll there out over across the beach. Meanwhile, over at Wonderworks, looking over towards the Gulf again, similar story, cloudy skies this afternoon and no sunset this evening across our area. Live Doppler radar, despite all those clouds, nothing in the way of any rainfall. You see the cloud deck just enveloping all of our area and extending out into the Gulf. More on the gloomy, cloudy weather, and also we have some rain on the way, Dan, and we bring in meteorologist Dan Nyman for the very latest on some of that rain, the cool temperatures that we saw today as well.
Yeah, the two pieces kind of connected, Chris. Of course, we'll a very brief passage of some showers. Maybe a rumble of thunder, although that looking somewhat unlikely at this time. But of course, temperatures as we headed through the overnight hours tonight going to be cool once again, especially with the lack of sunshine to build up heat throughout the day today. Now, look back west. Satellite imagery right now showing you some big-time thunderstorms bubbling up across parts of Louisiana earlier this afternoon, across Arkansas, now stretching into northern Mississippi as well. All of those strong thunderstorms, some severe as well. We saw tornado warnings across parts of Louisiana earlier today. Still plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings. You got some special weather statements out there as well. Look further south towards Lake Charles, another tornado warning popping up too. All of this slowly walking towards the east, and as it does so, it enters a more stable environment, slightly cooler temperatures, and that's one of the reasons why we think things will start to fall apart just a slight amount before it gets to us. Still a chance, though, for rainfall. Here you see dry through the overnight hours. Should be dry for that morning commute, too, unless things really start to pick up pace-wise. But as you get towards 11 o'clock this morning, you're back up to about a 40% chance of rainfall. We'll take you hour by hour here on the Futurecast models as you see the clouds sticking around this evening all the way through midnight tonight. Not much of a break in the cloud coverage there. And then as you get through the late morning hours into tomorrow afternoon, you've got this real thin line, not very wide across, just a couple of miles worth of rainfall there. That pushes through rather quickly for us here, and back behind it you see clearing skies as well. So while we say there's a 40% chance of rain, keep in mind 15, maybe 30 minutes. It's quickly in and out of your neighborhood, not going to leave behind much by way of impressive rainfall totals. Shortly after that, though, temperatures do start to drop. Notice the cloud direction here. Coming out of the northwesterly direction, you got some streaks of cirrus clouds still hanging around out there across coastal spots and up across the I-10 corridor as well. Going to be a big cool down as you get through Thursday night into Friday morning. Some of the coolest temperatures we have seen so far this season. Future winds still going to be somewhat calm this evening, but eventually I think as that front starts to get a bit closer, you'll see the breezes start to pick up 15, maybe even 25 miles per hour right along the passage of that front. The difference being as that front works towards the east, you still have somewhat breezier conditions settling in behind it. That's going to add to that cool feel outside. Certainly going to be somewhat of a sweater weather sort of forecast as we get through Wednesday night all the way through the rest of this week. Your day planner for Tuesday as you get through the overnight hours tonight down into the 50s. Pretty chilly for us down here in the Florida Panhandle. Low temperatures just a slight amount warmer towards the coast, but you see still dropping to around 50 degrees up towards Bluntstown. Meanwhile, in the tropics, Chris, things have been busy today, of course. We saw Hurricane Melissa make landfall over towards Jamaica and produce all sorts of pretty serious impacts there. Things still continuing there as the storm slowly weakens. We saw the eye close up just a bit. That's continuing to move off towards the north now. The problem's not finished, though. We'll see that storm continue off towards Cuba tonight. Lots of heavy rainfall coming there. See impacts in Haiti too. And then eventually we should see maybe some quick passing impacts up towards Bermuda as well.
Yeah, it's going to be racing up to the north and east here eventually, but the storm system not as well organized, relatively speaking. Thank you very much, Dan. Not compared to where it was. It was one of the strongest, or it tied, I think, the Florida Keys hurricane at 892 millibars for the lowest pressure in the Atlantic basin. That was 892 and 185 mile an hour winds is at peak as what it was at landfall. So it's still an extremely powerful category 4 hurricane at this hour, just not as intense as what it was. We go back to earlier this morning at landfall. This is visible satellite imagery. This is the half-kilometer resolution. And look at the eye as it crossed the southwestern coast of Jamaica. As it moved across the island, though, that eye rapidly began to kind of fill in as it's not as well organized as what it was. You can see that now as you look at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see there's the eye right there, but still plenty of thunderstorms located around the eye, but not the clear eye that we were looking at as it now moves to the north. But still 921 millibars. So Hurricane Michael was 918. So it's just a few millibars higher than that. Winds of 145 miles an hour. So we say weaken, but it's all semantics. It's still an extremely powerful hurricane and will have big impacts up into Cuba as we move through the night tonight and into tomorrow, and also tomorrow up into the southeastern Bahamas. At least it will begin to move more quickly, meaning rain, which is going to be a big impact, will become a little bit of a lesser impact as it makes its way to the north and east. You can see it'll be a Category 4 landfall in Cuba. As it emerges into the southeastern Bahamas, it will be a Category 3, possibly a Category 2. And begin to move much more quickly. And you'll see that with the forecast. There it is, the storm system at a Category 2, not far from Bermuda. So you see Bermuda right there, the storm passing near Bermuda, maybe just a little bit off to the west. Intensity, well, that's now dropping as we were up at Category 5 status and will continue to drop slowly but surely over the coming days. So as we move into the weekend, this will eventually become a tropical, or really probably a subtropical storm out across the North Atlantic. American computer model, again, showing the storm moving across Cuba as we move through the night, as we head into your Wednesday. So tomorrow evening, it'll be passing through the southeastern Bahamas. And after that, the only land area that needs to be watching it carefully will be Bermuda. Right now, it looks like it could get very close to Bermuda, possibly just on the west. Now, as far as the United States is concerned, the only impacts are going to be enhanced surf. Swells coming up towards the east coast, causing rip current risk, and maybe some coastal flooding would be the only thing that we have to worry about in the United States. Nothing that we have to worry about across the Gulf, and there you see it racing out over across the North Atlantic as you make your way into the weekend. Talking about the tropics, we're heading into the month of November. So the month of October, we typically see storms into the Atlantic through the Caribbean, but by November, things begin to shut off. Southeastern U.S. coastline, down through the Bahamas, the western part of the Caribbean, all favored places to look for tropical development. But I'm happy to say we don't have anything out there right now that looks like it's going to develop. But it is important to remember Hurricane Kate back in 1985, a Category 2 storm, hit Mexico Beach. That was in the latter part of November, so we can't completely close the books on it. But usually the month of November tends to be on the quiet side, and we certainly hope that is the case. Coming up in just a few minutes, Dan, we're going to be talking about, we'll talk about some red tide, the rain on the way, and much colder temperatures.
Yeah, we'll find out how big of a coat do I need, because I don't think I have any right now, but you're going to need one, and we'll tell you why in just about 2 minutes.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Now, from your trusted team of meteorologists at Panhandle Weather, this is your evening forecast update.
Well, Panhandle Weather Live, thank you very much for coming back with us this evening. As we talked about, over into Mexico Beach, we had some nasty weather yesterday and had some tornadoes. Had an EF0 and an EF1 tornado reported over there, but that was over near the Sunstop, and then we had obviously the main event over at the El Governor. So that's what we're looking at when it came to the tornado threat across our area. Let me go ahead and let's take a look here and just enjoy the beautiful weather across Northwest Florida, although it's not necessarily as beautiful as it typically is because of the fact that it's pretty cloudy out there this evening and on the cool side. It's still a beautiful sight though. So here's what's going on. Our forecast headlines. FWC finds red tide in St. Andrews Bay. It's in concentration, but they did find some. They've had some big problems down in St. Joseph Bay in recent weeks. So we're hoping that we don't see that expand up into our neck of the woods, but they did find it. We have some rain as a front passes tomorrow morning, and then it turns much, much colder for the end of the week. Let's talk about that red tide. As we look across the St. Joseph Bay, you can see high and moderate concentrations down over across the bay there, from Mexico Beach down all the way to the elbow there. Meanwhile, as you look over into St. Andrews Bay, you see a couple yellow dots right there. Those two yellow dots indicate low concentrations of red tide. So just low, and anywhere you see the white dots, there's two white dots there. These are all measurements that they've taken over the past 8 days, FWC. That is very low concentrations, and just kind of the open dots there is either not present in concentrations or background levels of red tide. So again, just 2 reports there, but 2 reports nonetheless of low concentrations. They had a lot of fish kills down towards Mexico Beach and St. Joseph Beach, but they haven't had any respiratory issues reported down there. And that's one of the things that can happen and cause some issues. So we'll continue to watch it though. As far as your forecast for this evening, we'll see temperatures dropping off through the 50s across our area. We'll see a few breaks in the clouds, but not a lot. We'll still keep those clouds around. There you see the rain chances tomorrow. Again, don't stress about it. It's going to be a very small window of rainfall. The storms move through. There could be a rumble of thunder or two. We're not going to see the severe weather that they're seeing out in Louisiana that Dan was talking about. We could see some rain maybe creep into the forecast on Sunday. Here's what's happening. Our setup tomorrow, low pressure back to the west. That's swinging a trough of low pressure through, and that's what's going to bring us that rainfall. It's also going to bring us, look at the colder temperatures that we're going to be seeing. Below average temperatures on the south side of this upper low because of clouds and some rain. And even on the back side of that, once the clouds move out, we're still going to see well below average temperatures down into the 60s for at least a couple of days. So here's your trough of low pressure swinging around to the east. There's your upper level low over the next 3 days, and then that begins to lift out by the end of the week, and we should begin to see some of these warmer temperatures return to our area for the weekend, at least getting us back up into the 70s. And you see with our temperature forecast across our area, we'll bounce around here about 70 tomorrow and then 60s for a couple of days, and we warm up into the 70s as we make our way through the weekend and toward the start of next week. Future clouds and radar. We see plenty of clouds tonight and into tomorrow. If you see some breaks, they're going to go away because the clouds come in. Here comes your front tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock over into Pensacola. That slides through Panama City by 11 o'clock in the morning and then over towards Apalachicola and points eastward. After that, we get into some sunshine for the second half of the day, but it won't necessarily last. We're going to have that, remember that low spinning to the north? That brings some moisture convergence and squeezes out some clouds across our area. And so the clouds are going to be kind of pesky to move out. It won't be until late Thursday afternoon that we finally get the full sunshine returning across our area. Talking about rainfall, it's not going to be a lot, probably just a few hundredths of an inch of rain when it is all said and done. But at least we will get a little bit more rain across our area. It's just not going to be a whole lot, but that cool weather is going to feel awfully, awfully nice as we round out the month of October with some trick-or-treating and getting closer to high school playoff football.
And I think as the temperatures really cool off here heading into the weekend, Chris, you might even be thinking about getting those Christmas decorations up. I've heard rumblings about it. Let's get the Christmas tree up. I'm like, it feels way too early, but you know, the temperatures will certainly suggest that being something that we might feel like doing. Either way, temperatures cooling off like we've talked about. And when we talk about cool temperatures this time of year, well, you might not expect to see something like the 40s or even flirting with 30s in some locations. We might not get quite that cool in northwest Florida, but if you get up towards Dothan or a little further towards the north across parts of southern Alabama, I think some 30s might be possible heading into the upcoming weekend. Speaking of cooler feels, though, the wind will be a factor as far as making temperatures feel slightly cooler even tomorrow afternoon. Here's a look at the winds. Onshore as you start the day off, that is ahead of your cold front, which is slowly walking its way across the Panhandle. Meanwhile, back behind that front, you see it move through pretty quickly. Now you have a northwesterly wind driving on through here. It's not the worst wind we've ever seen. You know, 10, 15 miles per hour is plenty manageable. Inlet Beach kind of picking out a spot a little bit higher in wind speeds. That might be pixel querying off the Gulf waters there. But all in all, a very manageable wind, just something that adds a little nip to the air as temperatures start to struggle here to wrap up the week. And as you get that reinforcing low pressure system, you might have seen the color contours change to more of a blue there. That was another burst of breezy weather as you get through Thursday afternoon. So it'll be something we're dealing with and managing as we get through the upcoming few days here heading off towards the weekend. Still cool as you wake up tomorrow morning. Wednesday lows down into the 50s and 60s, but of course we'll get cooler and cooler as the rest of the week progresses onwards. Mix of sun and clouds out there as you out towards the bus stop. Probably want to bundle up. A sweatshirt, pants going to be good for heading to school tomorrow, but temperatures will try to recover at least a little for the afternoon. Plenty pleasant though, 60s inland, 70 to 75 degrees down towards the coast. Many of us starting to see opening skies, a little more sunshine to wrap up the day, just not completely sunny skies, it looks like, for Wednesday. And there you see that low pressure system sweeps through and then shoots off towards the east. Pretty quiet, benign conditions as you get through Thursday and Friday, but with high pressure settling in, you see skies opening up, and that of course helps us find cooler temperatures through the overnight hours. No clouds to insulate us, and the heat is no longer trapped, it's released from the surface, and temperatures cool off as a result. So as you get through Friday night into Saturday morning, pretty cool conditions. Could see a little wave of influence of extra cloud coverage heading through the weekend, and maybe at least some models trying to spur up another round of rainfall as you get towards Sunday, but still a lot to be figured out with that. And certainly if temperatures don't recover quickly after Saturday's cool start, we'll see. Probably not going to be as much strong activity, but things of course could change if temperatures don't end up as cool as currently forecast. Friday night football, though, going to feel like football. Temperatures down through the 50s across the area. Pretty cool. Want to grab that light coat out there for Friday night. And then Saturday, Ironman back. Something to keep in mind if you plan on heading east or west through Panama City Beach. Temperatures cool for the morning part of that, but as you get through the afternoon, I think pretty comfortable, whether you're spectating or any participants as well. Going to enjoy a nice change of pace, slightly cooler temperatures than we've seen in past years. Not as windy either for Ironman, so we shouldn't see too many Gulf water impacts, especially with the offshore wind. That'll be continuing through Saturday morning. The 7-day forecast you'll see here, Chris, temperatures continuing down through the 60s Thursday and Friday at the coast. Even cooler inland, you'll find temperatures dropping down into the 40s Friday and Saturday morning as well. So it's going to be pretty chilly along the beaches, but the real cool feel, that comes as you look towards inland areas. We'll be dropping down into the 40s pretty much area-wide, or anywhere north of the bays, as cool as 40 degrees Friday morning, and that's going to be the real nippy feel that you get outside the weekend. We'll see about Sunday. I don't know what you're thinking about that.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see. There's a chance that we could see some rainfall Sunday. Models, one of our models shows some rain moving in Sunday, like late day, evening. The GFS shows it as well. So far, the Weather Service holding off and the Euro holding off. So stay tuned on that. But I think most of the weekend is going to end up being okay across our area. Kind of some good news today, Dan. The Panhandle Weather Roku app is available. So if you go to I think it's channelstore.roku.com. Now, you have to have Roku in order to get it, obviously.
Do I have to type that in on my TV, too?
Yeah.
Up, left.
Well, okay, so here's the deal. On your TV, just search for Panhandle Weather. But if you have, you could go to your account at channelstore.roku.com, and you can actually add the channels through that. So you can see here, I have already installed it. So you can install it from elsewhere, and it just magically appears on your Roku device. So you can now watch Panhandle Weather live on Roku, and they are about 40% of smart TV as far as the integration with it. So that's a big deal. But we have Fire Stick and Apple TV on the way as well.
Also coming for us on the website, I've added the river levels, although I still have to fix a few things. And then next up on the to-do list will be some of the marine stuff, a little bit more coding involved with those graphics.
Okay,
so
nice.
You'll have tide locations for pretty much the entirety of the northern Gulf Coast, from Orange Beach all the way to St. Mark's, and then some bay locations as well. Also working on wave period graphics, which I know is one of the requested things for here. What else? Sunrise, sunset times will soon adjust for specific locations and not be tied to the airports in the area, so that'll be good.
That's good.
And I'm sure there's other stuff I'm forgetting too, but a lot of projects in motion right now.
Well, Dan asked for it because he put out the request, what do our fishermen and boaters want? And he has a big spreadsheet now, thanks to y'all.
It's good to have projects, but some of those, some are easier than others for sure. Some of these data doesn't exist, like you have to put it together yourself. That might not be something that comes for several months. But the stuff that there is kind of easy to source data, or stuff that we can pull in with our computers here, I can put that together pretty quickly.
That's awesome. And thank y'all very, very much. It's a priority. Boating and fishing and marine stuff is a big priority for us. It's not where we want it to be right now, but Rome wasn't built in a day. We're going to get there. Be patient, but no, we will get there.
Yeah, we should come out of the winter, I think, with a very good suite of information, products that you can look at, and be prepared as you get out on the water once temperatures start rising.
Nice.
So that's going to
do it.
Yeah, I think that'll do it for us. We said it was going to be shorter today, but it's 6:30. That seems to be how it always goes for us, Chris. Thanks for your time this evening. More updates on the channel over the next several hours. And over the course of this week, too, stay in tune for the weekend forecasts in case things change. Otherwise, have a great night.
Y'all have a wonderful night. Thanks for tuning in.